Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. I'm back. The courts are back in. Everybody has eaten. I really didn't eat anything, but I do have some news. Cassie is in the hospital in the labor unit, so let's wish her a safe delivery and a healthy baby. And all the prayers that we have for her right now. Let's keep going. Okay, so they're back. They're going over some things about Capricorn and Cassie. They're saying that we don't see any non-hearsay purposes, and it's already been done in the direct. So they were just reiterating some stuff. Now down here, the lawyer was like, the direct went more negative than we expected. Their theory is that Ms. Ventura was not permitted to be creative. The judge was like, in the future, in what you submit overnight must be in the docket. Diddy's lawyers are still just doing what they want to do. They are not following directions. So, child, they open up talking about an album cover, right? It was relevant. That's what they're saying. The judge said that the album cover was relevant. The AUSA said Cassie is topless with her arms crossed. So she got cut. The AUSA got cut off. The judge said, let's have Miss Clark come back in. So now Capricorn is back in. The jury's back in. Here we go. The lawyer was like, when y'all went into the park, it was to Tavern on the Green. Capricorn said, we parked there early in the day in the park. We ran into Nas. Child, do not bring Nas into this. Okay? I know. Don't bring him into this. Then Diddy's lawyer was like, when you say he had Miss Ventura spin, who was there? Let me show you what you said. You said Lorianne Gibson was there. Now, that's who needs to be in the courtroom. Because between her and Bentley Farnsworth, there's a plethora of information being left out. So Capricorn was like, they misheard me. The lawyer was like, when did you first meet Cassie Ventura? I met her with Ryan Leslie. And I think, isn't that who she was dating before she got with Puffy? Ryan Leslie. Remind me, let me know if I'm right or wrong. So now the question to Capricorn is, why did you not get along with Cassie sometimes? She said in 2008, she got more bravado being his girlfriend. The longer it lasted, she thought I was being paid to help her. The AUSA said objection, sustain, re-asked the question. Okay, so then the lawyer said, what did you see? Capricorn said she went from being a sweet model to being a feisty girlfriend. So that is what it was reiterated to. Then the lawyer's like, do you think she was talented? Capricorn says she had talent and was very beautiful, but not talented. She was not. I have good taste. Capricorn! And then Capricorn was like, talented to me is Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. Cassie, she was more of a studio musician. She needed things equalized, like, something that T-Pain would use. You know what I'm saying? She needed a little help in the studio. And then the lawyer was like, did she perform live? She said a couple of times. Not the greatest. I get it. Was she a hard worker? And she said at times. Child, so now they talking about Cassie work ethic. When was she not a hard worker? She was like, she preferred to be with her boyfriend. When we moved to LA after Kim had the twins in 2009ish, I saw her developing more of her relationship with with Mr. Combs. And then his lawyer asked, so he supported her? Capricorn said yes, with stylists, other musicians, all the components to make her a star. Did she get more help than others? Yes. Young Jock and a group from Atlanta. I developed French Montana. Now, you remember Young Jock had told us the story about Diddy jumping down off of something because he saw a woman with her head shaved and told Cassie he wanted her hair shaved. And Young Jock was like, are you going to do it? She said, if Diddy wants it, Diddy gets it. So that's how I'm going to tie in Young Jock. And then Capricorn was like, I ran into Cassie. She said she had a new deal with Epic. I dressed her like David Bowie. We did a photo shoot at my house. We wrote a mini movie and shot it for the project. Puffy's lawyer said, what about Official Girl? She said that was a super cute video. Cassie was doing like a video, right? Cassie had a green wig. It was a cute little video, whatever. And the lawyer was like, we moved to admit this witness. And then the AUSA said there is a ceiling issue. You don't remember this email? Capricorn said no. And then the lawyer was like, in 2012, you were setting up a recording session for Cassie. She said Mario Winans was for the chairman. And the lawyer was like, for Mr. Combs? She said yes. When did you learn Cassie was dating Kid Cudi? She said the fall of 2011. I picked her up there. So then the lawyer was like, you believe that after Thanksgiving, Miss Ventura and Kid Cudi were what? She said getting to know each other. Like, they was together. And then he was like, why'd you get her a burner phone at Best Buy? She said, I told her you cannot do this on your bad boy phone. Because remember, I think in part 1 or part 2, Capricorn was telling her it's not a good idea to be talking about Kid Cudi in these texts. Because Diddy pays for my phone and your phone. Meaning he can tap in and see what's really going on. This is too much. Child, so now they questioning her. How did she know about a burner phone? She said, I grew up in Los Angeles, right? Then they talking about in December 2011, Diddy was in like Russia or something at an orphanage. And then the lawyer was like, how did Mr. Combs get into your building? She was like, the security guard let him in, and she didn't know his name. She said he was a random guy, black guy around about 35. And then the lawyer was like, what was Mr. Combs doing with the firearm? She was like, he had it in his hand. I don't know. He was about to do something with it, right? And then the lawyer's like, he wasn't pointing at you. She was like, no. And then he was like, but you told the government he pointed at you. She said, it says, or waved it around. That's more correct. Sir, he had a gun. And I was next to him. So it don't matter. Whatever it is, it was in my proximity. So then she was asked, like, about when did she change into street clothes. She was in her closet. If it's true you went to see Mr. Combs, so he wouldn't do something stupid. She said, no, I went because he said he didn't care. I didn't want to go. And then the lawyer was like, he's a jealous guy. She was like, he has a bad temper. And then the lawyer was like, to the Escalade, did you pass a security guard? She said, I saw him in a little hut. And then he asked, Mr. Combs was behind the driver with a firearm in his lap. You made a call? She said, not then. And then the lawyer was like, did you look at Kid Cudi's door to see if they could get through it? Capricorn said, I was not really paying attention. I was so in my head trying to plan my next step. I was praying that Cudi was not in there. Did Cassie have 2 rooms? Like, these questions are crazy. So Capricorn was like, Cudi took her to 1 room. She had another. And then the lawyer's like, you are 100% that you called and told them that he had a firearm. She said, yes. I said it very quickly. I didn't want him to see me on the phone. This girl is scared for her life. And she is trying to let these people know that this crazy man is coming. She don't have time to have no what you got on kind of conversation. So then the lawyer's like, did you say that Lauren London was on the phone with you and Cassie and Cudi? She said no, only part of that time. Her voice started cracking. She said, I wanted someone to know where I was. What did you tell her? She said, I'm scared of mountain lions. That sounds like a little code, like I'm in this area. It could have been Big Bear. I don't know. But anyway, the lawyer was like, mountain lions. Capricorn said, I don't know if you know the Hollywood Hills. Coyotes, maybe Lauren was on the phone. Maybe it's such a long time ago. I don't know. Are you aware that Lauren and Mr. Combs were friends for years after this? She said yes. Child, and Kid Cudi and went out there and got in his porch, honey. He stopped next to us, then he sped off. And they chased him. And then the lawyer's like, she's like, then he loses us. We turn away, then we see the police pass us. I told y'all about that a couple of videos ago. And then the lawyer was like, you go to pick up Cassie and you go where? She said to Cudi's house. There was an ADT there. Then you go to Mr. Combs' house and you say you see Mr. Combs kicking Cassie there, even in the street. She said yes. Then he was like, the lawyer was like, you hung up on the fire inspection? She said, I did. When you were on vacation, it was with who? Like, how do you go from these questions like this? This is crazy. Child, she said Rihanna. Not Rihanna. After you were fired, what job did you get? She said, I was hired by Chris Lighty to work for 50 Cent. I came with these name dropping. Did he have these women under a spell? Child, Capricorn wrote Puffy a letter talking about one day you will forgive me. She wrote that on February 28, 2015. She said, your grace period to be mad at me has surpassed. He said, you wrote that? She said, yes, sir. And then she wrote something about Cassie was never her friend and Cassie wanted her gone. She done started crying. She said, I felt I was Puffy's protector. Then Capricorn was like, I felt like I was the only one gone. She was still there and things were getting worse. This is too much.